Hey guys, what's up? I've been forest bathing and also just swimming in the lakes, being still with nature. And it's gotten me to reflect on how nature truly brings so much peace and so much clarity and so much space in our minds. The mere fact that our thoughts create our reality, it really does have a huge impact on our lives because our lives are truly what we make of it. And if our perspective is based in negativity, then that will definitely affect the way we go about making our decisions in life. I've been lucid dreaming, actively lucid dreaming, and being able to dream chain, which is essentially intentionally getting back into a dream. So I lucid dream and then I wake up from something and then I intentionally go back into that state and I try to get back to that place. And it got me thinking, so I wrote a few things down. The dream as mirror and gateway. There's a moment, quiet, disorienting, and strangely lucid when you realize you are dreaming. The rules of the waking world fall away, yet your awareness sharpens. You are inside the dream, but no longer lost in it. To be conscious in a dream is more than a fascinating anomaly. It is a profound encounter with the nature of the mind itself. Across time and cultures, this experience has been seen not as mere fantasy, but as a gateway to deeper understanding of self, psyche, and reality. After I woke up from all of these dreams, I referred back to Carl Jung. Carl Jung was a man that deeply studied the psyche, but he was a seeker. He was constantly seeking the understanding of mere existence. Like, why are we here? What are we doing here? How does the mind work? And he found a lot of similarities in the way that he perceived things that were similar to like Buddhist philosophy. I started off studying a little bit more of Freud, but there was always something that I didn't quite resonate with. So it wasn't until I discovered Carl Jung that I kind of moved in that direction. So in Carl Jung's depth psychology, dreams are symbolic messages from the unconscious, offering pathways toward integration and wholeness. Becoming aware within a dream reflects an evolving relationship with the hidden parts of ourselves. What Jung might call a dance between ego and shadow, or between persona and self. In Buddhist traditions, especially in the practice of Tibetan dream yoga, which is actually a book that I've been reading, and I found a lot of the practices to be very similar to how I get back into that state. In the practice of Tibetan dream yoga, lucid dreaming is a spiritual discipline. It is used not to escape, but to awaken. To recognize that just like dreams, waking life too is transient, constructed, and ultimately illusory. In this space, awareness becomes the bridge and compassion becomes the compass. And I thought about this because what makes my lucid dreaming different this time round is the mere fact that when I recognize that I'm dreaming, my tendency was just to fly away. And I would be like, oh, I don't need to be here in this problem. I can just leave. And so I would literally get ready to just fly off. But in this particular moment, I noticed that rather than flying off, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to stay here. And this is my choice. It's a choice. It's a conscious choice within this dream. So I was like, well, what is the meaning of all this, and why am I needing to confront this? What is it about this? What can I learn? And I found quite a bit of peace doing so, because it tapped into a part of me where I was like, yeah, my tendency sometimes has been to flee. You know, sometimes when going gets tough, I have a tendency to want to ignore certain things and then just kind of embrace the other good things. And there's this, I'm kind of like an idealist. Sometimes I will see a person, and I was talking to somebody about this, maybe more so in the past, but seeing a person and then starting to create this book of what could be and how life could be together, as opposed to writing this book together, right? And not really having any sort of expectations, because that could cause a lot of problems. Especially if the other person is not in accordance with that and they're not aware of this idea that you have created in your mind. So, whether it's through Jung's analytical lens or Buddhism's meditative path, lucid dreaming invites us to meet ourselves more consciously, not just in sleep, but in every layer of being. It reminds us that how we move through dreams may mirror how we move through life, aware or unaware, reactive or intentional, lost or free. I think it's interesting because in Buddhist teachings, Tibetan dream yoga, I read that morning that responsibility in the dream, just as in waking life, consciousness in dreams invites responsibility. And you can choose compassion over fear, generosity over control. You observe your tendencies and karmic imprints with greater clarity. So there is a reason for the dream that you're having, whether that's a fear to understand, a lesson to learn. It's just like going through challenging times. Like, we're going to continuously experience that challenge until we actually learn what we needed to, grasp the wisdom that we were meant to learn. But until we understand what that looks like or what that is, and quit making that same mistake time and time again, then it will perpetuate and it'll keep on coming back. I really love that. And it just was so profound in my awareness and just the way I see dreaming now. So yeah, in dream yoga, it's a specific Tibetan Buddhism practice. It involves becoming lucid in dreams and then using the dream state as a training ground for enlightenment. Enlightenment can mean so many different things for different people. From a Buddhist perspective, it's truly just creating more positive imprints and relinquishing the karmic debt that has arisen and evolved through time. And also like recognizing that time is not linear from a Buddhist perspective either, because karma isn't just this one life. It's karmic seeds can ripen from past lives today, tomorrow, even however many years, maybe in the next life. And it's all up to us how we want to respond to that. And that will dictate our karma for the future. It's like reaching nirvana. And this word is it's not the same as what you might think. I think you need to read more Buddhist texts to understand, and I'm still learning, so forgive me if I am explaining it incorrectly, but I'm not perfect. The dream world is seen as illusory, like waking life. Both are impermanent and constructed by the mind. By becoming aware in the dream, you realize the illusory nature of all phenomena, deepening insight into emptiness. And the idea of deepening insight into emptiness is just that, when we think about other people and how they perceive us, and when we think about ourselves and how we perceive ourselves, everybody is objectively kind of creating their own thoughts. Nothing is final. Nothing is right or wrong. Nothing is specifically, from a moral standpoint, yes, but I'm talking about like our perception of things, like how we have lived this life and how we've responded to life, and where we grow up and our genetics, all of this stuff. But ultimately recognizing that we can respond in not being attached to who we were yesterday. So now we're going to get into consciousness and dreams from Carl Jung's perspective. Jung believed that dreams are a bridge to the unconscious mind, offering symbolic insight into our deeper selves. While he didn't explicitly focus on lucid dreaming in the modern sense, his ideas provide a rich psychological context. Jung saw dreams as a path towards individuation, which is the process of becoming whole. Being conscious in dreams then is a sign that the ego is beginning to interact intentionally with the unconscious, rather than being passively affected by it. And this is where concept of like responding as opposed to reacting, associating yourself with your feelings so heavily that you embody it fully. Then there's shadow integration. And so becoming aware in a dream might allow a person to meet their shadow, the repressed or denied parts of themselves, with clarity and courage. Though this was a waking technique, it parallels lucid dreaming. The conscious mind engages in dialogue with dream figures or symbols, guiding the psyche towards healing and transformation. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. This quote often resonates with the lucid dream state, becoming aware internally rather than swept away by the externals. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I have had some very profound experiences and just like life-changing epiphanies through lucid dreaming. And you can check out my other video of like how to get into lucid dreaming, but for now, I'm going to leave y'all here and I'm wishing y'all the best. Bye.